Time 1 week after Americans went to the polls to vote in the midterm elections tonight, former President Donald Trump says he's making a big announcement and he's done nothing to tamp down speculation. He's declaring his next bid for the White House.
But how would this time around be different from previous years? Here is Abby Larico to verify.
Tonight, former President Trump is widely expected to announce another run for office, specifically the Oval Office. We turn to these sources to verify what would the rules be around another Trump presidency. Presidential term limits are established in the 22nd Amendment, and in this case, it's the first part that's most relevant. No person shall be elected to the office of the president more than twice. That means if Mr. Trump were to run and win in 2024, he would not be eligible to run again in 2028.
It does prevent, to some extent, a kind of caudillo, right? This sort of strongman from coming to power for too long a time.
These weren't always the rules, though. President Franklin Delano Roosevelt was elected to 4 terms. But according to the National Constitution Center, interest in limiting presidential power eventually led to the ratification of the 22nd Amendment in 1951. Pros and cons of term limits are debated to this day, and Republicans and Democrats have floated the idea of repealing the 22nd Amendment over the years. But no proposal has ever been up for serious consideration.
I mean, it would be very hard to achieve a kind of consensus that doesn't exist in the country to repeal an amendment. Nowadays, you could see both Democrats and Republicans, for different reasons, supporting a term limit on the president.
If Mr. Trump runs and wins, he'd be the first president in more than 130 years to move back into the White House. After losing a bid for re-election following his first term, Grover Cleveland is the only president to have been elected to a non-consecutive second term. With your Verify, I'm Abby Larico.
Meanwhile, the House committee investigating the January 6 attack on the Capitol says former President Trump is refusing to comply with the committee's subpoena.
That subpoena requires him to appear for a deposition. The committee says Trump's attorneys have made no attempts to negotiate an appearance. It's now considering the next course of action.